Man, welcome in to the Fake Stuff Podcast, back at it again. Man, doing what we do, breaking down rookies. We're doing our part 2 of the wide receiver breakdown, rookies. But back at it again. If you see me and Crap Man looking around and just staring off into the distance, because we just looking at stuff, because, you know, we've been trying to find a recording platform to really get into, but we on a different one tonight, so we just looking around and looking at buttons and stuff. But Crap Man, what's going on, man?
I don't know. I was looking. Did the intro music come into your headphones or something? I didn't hear it. I mean, it seemed like you just went like straight after it. That's why I was looking like that. I was like, is it playing? I mean, if it's playing, it's playing, I guess.
Dang. That's crazy. I'll have to check that on the, the good thing is it really just doesn't even matter, because I could just put the music in no matter what.
This is true.
That is funny. I was over there just I was bumping, so I think it's funny you didn't even hear none of that shit. You can hear me though, right?
Yeah, I can hear you good. This is gonna be a live and learn type situation right here, but hopefully everything just kind of works out the way it's supposed to.
Yep. Man, check us out on YouTube. Yeah, going up. Check us out on Spotify, Apple, and all we ask is just, we're not up here asking for your money and stuff like that, but at least share the show. That's the least you can do. If you like what we're putting out, share the show to your friends and stuff like that. But add us up on, check us out on, YouTube. Add us. Every subscriber, it matters. Crap Man, anything you want to add before we just jump right in? Because this is pretty much going to be a short episode. I say we're going to knock this one out 30, 35, 40. Get in and get out. And then we're going to talk about some quarterbacks and tight ends here soon.
Yep, second round of receivers right here. And we still got some more to talk about, like some of the receivers and running backs that we missed that are getting a lot of hype. So we're going to end up coming back to them a little bit. But we're just covering our bases right now, getting the main guys out. And then closer to the draft, we'll start throwing some sleepers out there. And definitely talk about them more, like if there's some surprise draft picks in the NFL draft. Stuff like that.
Plus, we're going to talk about, Travis Hunter. We need to talk about him a little bit.
We ain't even mentioned him yet.
Yeah, hadn't mentioned him yet. We got to throw him in there. So it's like we're going through like a first wave of breakdowns. And then once we get past quarterbacks and tight ends, we'll be done with them. But we're going to rake back through and slide in and grab some running backs. And then Travis Hunter, the only reason we're not even doing him in the first 10 is just because, I'm not dialed in as much as everybody is. So I didn't know if they're going to play him on the defense, because I've seen him as, cornerback 1. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't really know where he stands fantasy football wise yet, but we'll talk about it, and we're going to break him down for sure. I mean, he'll probably be headlining one of the episodes and stuff like that. But anything you want to add, Crap Man?
Nah, I think you covered it. I mean, with Travis Hunter, it's going to be crazy that the man might get drafted as a cornerback, and people are going to pick him in your rookie draft. You know what I mean? Like, if he gets drafted as a cornerback, he's still going to go in the second or third round in your rookie draft, because he's going to play some on offense. So, but is it going to be enough to, put any points into your fantasy lineup? So we'll wait and see on that one.
He's going to definitely. Yeah, I'm with you. Definitely going to have to check that one out. We'll talk about it and break it down. And really, we're going to have to see what these NFL teams are saying before I even think about where I would rank him and stuff like that. But let's just go ahead and get started, man. Part 2. We're going to roll with Jalen Royals, Utah State, 6 foot, 205 pounds. Breaking them down, and let's see, I know he was hurt a little bit last year, but healthy. 12 games, 94 receptions, 1,438 yards, 10 touchdowns. Just another yak guy, run after the catch type of player. There's been a couple of these making noise in the draft. Jalen Royals hadn't really been making too much noise in the draft. But he's definitely going to be, I think he'll be a solid wide receiver for one of these teams out there that need this kind of style. To me, it was like a Jayden Reed type player. This was the type of player I was thinking of.
A little bigger.
He was good. Yeah, good with the ball in his hands, but he could make some contested catches too. Like it wasn't like, it's not finesse out there. It's you know what I'm saying. But big playability and good route running. I wasn't really familiar with his game too much. The last episode, you're familiar with a few of their games, and heck, familiar with a couple of these guys tonight. But yeah, I mean, nothing. I feel like this is going to be in your rookie draft. Going to be like a mid to late round, second round draft pick. That's how I view him. Nothing really too special, but I mean, he's not even the best yak guy in this class. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
yeah,
mid to late second round guys. How I view him for rookie drafts.
I mean, I did like him. Utah State kind of sucked. They were pretty terrible as a team, but I mean, he kind of showed out. He's kind of like the knockoff Luther Burden in this class. The way I was looking at it, like 6'2", 205. I mean, he's built like a running back. Really. I mean, he looks like a running back playing wide receiver, and that's exactly the way he plays after he gets the ball in his hands too. So, real physical, good at breaking tackles, real slippery after he catches the ball. But, I mean, I'll be definitely taking a chance on him. I like him better than some of the guys we talked about in the last episode anyway. Like Trey Harris.
The guy from Ole Miss.
Yeah, Trey Harris.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I like him better than Trey Harris. There's a couple of them I like better, but, I mean, for where he's going to be going in the draft, I think in the NFL draft, you could be looking at like a third, fourth round wide receiver, something like that. So, he goes to a wide receiver needy team. I mean, I think he's going to be pretty stout over the middle of the field anyway, but it might be a little more gadgety than just your typical like slot out or even outside receiver. But I got a couple things on him. He had a foot injury last year. I know some people have been talking about he a little bit injury prone in college, but he played a lot out wide, 226 snaps out wide and 64 slot snaps. He's but I don't know. I kind of see him fitting more in the slot in the NFL than I do outside. So that's just kind of what I think about him.
Yeah, definitely a role for him. Like, I definitely wasn't like, man, this dude's just trash. I thought he was pretty good. Just, it's just one of those things. Like, I'm not saying this is a deep class. It's not a deep class of wide receiver at all, but it's like, he's not going to crack top 4 or 5 guys. He's not going to crack the top 5 for me, but I do like him better than... I'll take Jalen Royals over anybody that's just like a jump ball guy. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Like, he gets a slant or something, he can take it to the house. I mean, he's got a little Debo in him, just the way he's built, just being that kind of shorter, stocky kind of receiver, just kind of thick. So he's pretty good. He's pretty good over the middle of the field. For sure.
Well, shoot, I'm going to just go ahead and move on to the next one. Xavier Restrepo. You think I said it right? Restrepo?
Restrepo. I think it might be Restrepo.
Miami, 5'10", 209 pounds. I was watching him.
The thick one, too.
I'm just a little... Yeah, I was about to say. I'm familiar with his game just because we're watching Miami. I watch a lot of ACC play. Saw some Cam Ward. We'll talk about him in an episode later on. But Restrepo... I mean, this right here, let's see, what do my notes say? I know they wasn't nothing spectacular. Let's just pull out what I got, though. But slot receiver, and it's just like he's just one of those guys like, I always think about like Hunter Renfrow in college. He's just wide open. You trust him. It's fourth down. You need somebody open. It's Julian Edelman. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the kind of player he is. He's not going to... I mean, hopefully he can find a role where he's in an offense like those Tom Brady type offenses where it's like, a little bit of dinking and a little bit of game management type deal, and he can find a role.
Third
to
receiver.
me, this dude's upside. Yeah, no upside to me. I mean, there's definitely not a high upside for me with him, but I thought he was good, and I mean, he's just one of those players. Though strong hands, he was physical. His production was elite, but it's like the thing that you think about with him is his IQ and the route running. He could get open. He could sit in the zone. He could do all that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, you pretty much said everything that I was going to say about him. I mean, I kind of feel like we saw the same thing in him, but a couple things. He's not real explosive. I don't know if he's going to threaten defenses enough with his speed and just being a vertical threat at all, where he's going to be able to create separation, against man defense like that. But against zone, he's good. Like you said, the IQ is there. He's going to be open against zone. But I just feel like there's a lot of players like that in the NFL. I didn't really see a whole lot that really separates him from like just a slot receiver for any other team. He's not explosive enough to be used kind of gadgety, or just like teams ain't going to be just trying to get the ball in his hands in open space, because he's not that kind of guy. So he's just going to be, like you said, like that third down, like Tyler Boyd type receiver or something like that. I mean, Boyd, I'm not comparing the two, but something like, as far as fantasy goes, that's what I see, like how Tyler Boyd was in fantasy.
Like, there's no doubt in the NFL, like, there's a role for Restrepo, but as far as like fantasy football wise, he's not gonna be a player that I'm gonna be like taking a shot on. Like when you get in your rookie drafts and you're like in the late second and you're in your early thirds, like you at least want to throw a shot on a guy that might have some upside. And I feel like Restrepo is just limited when it comes to upside talk. Not to say he's a bad football player. He could find a role in the NFL and ball out and play 8 years, win a Super Bowl, you know what I'm saying? But fantasy-wise, I'm going to let it slide.
Yeah, I mean, if he goes to the absolute perfect spot where there's just, you got a big outside receiver who's good, and then he just kind of slots in as that number 2, that would be best case scenario. But I kind of think he's going to be your number 3 option. He might start right away. I mean, I think he's NFL ready, but probably going to be like the number 3 option on an offense.
Best.
Yeah, at best, probably, yeah. I mean, I did like him, though. Like, I like watching him.
Yeah.
He's one of them players I like. It's just like when he catches a ball, it's like, what are you going to do for me after that? And it's just like you catch it, you fall down, and that's what you get out. That's what you get out of him. Like Jalen Royals, he's not as technical as Restrepo at getting open against zone and stuff, but it's like, but when you get the ball in his hands, it's like he can make something happen after that. Restrepo's just gonna catch it and fall.
Right. All right, well, shoot, crap, man. Anything you want to add? We'll move on to these other guys.
I guess we're done hating on Restrepo for now.
It is funny because we don't really talk shit about none of these guys. Like,
we about to talk some shit because this next.
All right, well, let's hear it. I'm ready to hear it then. Elic Ayomanor. You would think I host these shows. I should come on here knowing how to pronounce everybody's names and shit. I'll clean that up, I guess. But Stanford, 6'2", 206. I'm just really wondering what you're going to say. You talking about you don't like him.
Oh, he's terrible. He's terrible.
So, well, here's the thing. Here's the thing about him. This is why I'm glad you're bringing him up, because I wrote down his most notable game, and this is where it all comes from. This is where his hype comes from, his NFL draft ability, and all that good shit. Against Colorado, against the number 1 quarterback in this draft class or whatever, our guy Elic from Stanford, 6'2", 206 pounds. Yeah, he went for 294 yards, 3 touchdowns, and was bullying the number 1 cornerback in the draft class. And I watched that game, and he was, bro. He was like shoving him off. I don't even know if this was. I mean, he dominated.
You're talking about Travis
Hunter.
No doubt. You're talking about Travis Hunter.
Yeah, he dominated him. I mean, that's the reason why. The thing is with me, when I watch this guy, because I watched a few games, and I definitely watched that Colorado game. It's like he's good. But then you see him do some things where you're like, damn. It's just like, but go ahead, Kraft.
I mean,
go ahead.
This is like the typical stuff you say about somebody who ain't good. He has a lot of room for improvement, is what I had. A lot of room for improvement. His ball tracking is absolutely it's some of the worst I've seen in this class. Like he's out there running a 9 route, go route on the outside. The quarterback throws him the ball, and he's like, he don't know which shoulder it's over. He don't know if the ball's in the stadium. He don't know where the ball's at. Sometimes it's like, and just his ball tracking and his contested catch stuff. I mean, you said he did up Travis Hunter a couple times. He is super, like, physical traits are definitely there. Like, he's a big dude. He's fast, but he's got a lot to improve to even come close to seeing the field in year one. I mean, this is an experimental receiver, in my opinion. Like,
All right.
just based on his physical trait.
All right, well, this is what I wrote down at the bottom. You're talking about him getting on the field and stuff. I was saying as the lower tier wide receivers. You know, I ain't ranking them all out. I just assume he's going to be in my lower tier.
He can't catch neither.
But with the lower tier wide receivers, he's got the highest upside. You know what I'm saying? Like, if this dude got it together, this dude could ball out. You don't feel that way?
If he got it together, he's got a lot to get together, in my opinion. Like, he's not even close to polished enough to step on the field in year one. Unless you want to just run him right down the field, throw the ball up, and let the ball hit the ground. I mean,
like, this ain't a bad wide receiver to take in the middle of the third.
He's going to get drafted at some point. I mean, just not by me.
I'm just saying, you're sitting there at the 305. This guy comes along, staring you right down. You wouldn't take a shot.
I mean, sure, at the 305, I guess. Or I'll just draft one of the 10,000 running backs that are in this class at that point. Like, while everybody's taking these receivers, I'm just still going to be taking running backs or tight ends. This tight end class is deep too. So, he probably won't be on my team. I know some people like him because he's prototypical outside receiver size, and he is explosive, and he's a physical guy, but I mean, he just sucks to me.
Hey, it's one of those things where he
don't know where the ball is.
He has that big game. He's got that big game versus Colorado, but other than that, it's like, where do we stand with him? You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't really have too much to go on it.
My last note on here was speculative ad for me in Dynasty, but not targeting him at all.
Yeah.
So that kind of answers your question.
I ain't gonna hate on him. I'll just say this: side at what he's gonna cost is just okay. Yeah, I mean, it's like I'm at the 306. Guy coming around, sliding around at 309. You know what I'm saying? I might just
did you like him
in my taxi for a couple years? Yeah, I liked him. I thought he was good. I just think he's a little inconsistent. It's the thing. He's pretty much like a product of this one big ass game he had versus Travis Hunter in Colorado. I don't really know what to think about him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, the ball just found his hands that game, I guess.
I will say this, because I read through scouting reports and stuff like that. I seen one NFL scout saying that might be the best run blocker of all these wide receivers in the draft. So, I mean, that'll give you some value for NFL teams like that kind of stuff. You know,
I mean, you watch baseball, I'm sure, and you see somebody hit a fly ball in center field, and the center fielder's eyes are in the sun, and he's looking up. He don't know where that's what he reminded me of. Like, is the sun always in his eyes? They'll be playing in a dome, and the sun just seems to be in his eyes.
Man, you hate your crap, man.
I'm sorry, but that's the way I feel.
All right, well, shoot, let's get on to a couple bigger names. Isaiah Bond, Texas, 5'11", 180. People getting a little hyped about him. You know, he said he was going to go off at the 40. He was about to kill that shit. I don't think he ran the time he said he was going to. Talk about breaking a record and shit like that. Like, he didn't do all that, but...
No.
Listen, man, Isaiah Bond, the thing is about him is I think a lot of people are going to, and even myself, you know, you're going to think of, like, these receivers like, I don't know, John Ross. He's the one people think of all the time. The fast guys can't do nothing. But the thing is, I'm going to say with Isaiah Bond is I think, you know, he's not just that fast guy. But I think he has a little bit of a start-stop.
Twitchy.
to his game and stuff like. Yeah, like he's got a little bit of that game. Could change direction. So I'm not gonna say he's just a speedster, but he can catch a screen and he can take it to the crib, and he can catch a 90-yard bomb too. So
he's like a smaller, not as physical and not as polished Zay Flowers. Just the way I kind of look at him. It's just like when I watched Zay Flowers a couple years ago, it was like I really liked him, and Bond he's kind of like the knockoff of that. Kind of like a Paris Campbell, somebody kind of like that. But I mean, I do agree that he's just not a field stretcher. I mean, he's got the speed to be a field stretcher, but he does pretty well in the intermediate stuff. And I mean, I didn't mind his film. I liked him all right, but his college production is one of the things that kind of turned me off. He had 34 receptions for 540 one year and 48 for 668 and 4. So, I mean, the production not necessarily there.
See,
which is like a big no for me. Like I've learned
exactly.
Man.
I was just about to say that's the big one for me. Is like if I seen that you wasn't really doing stuff in college, it's hard for me to just be on board. Like that was my problem with Lad McHonky last year. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you're right and sometimes you're wrong. But Lad, it was like,
Bowers.
I know he's good. I can see he's good. Yeah. But it was
the Brock Bowers effect with Ladd. I mean, if Bowers wasn't there and Ladd was healthy in college, I think his stats would have been a lot better. But I mean, Bond did have Golden there. I mean, so they were splitting it up a little bit. Got a first round receiver that's probably going to get drafted in the first or second round this year. That's getting a lot of hype. But another thing about Bond is like big physical cornerbacks are going to be a big issue for him. He's going to get pushed around a little bit. They got to move him around in the formation, get him some free releases off the line, because I did see a lot of stuff where if they get these bigger corners on them and press them a little bit, like you can throw them off pretty easy.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I'm about to say weak ass boy, because I'm gonna be real. He definitely ain't gonna be one of them players that I'm putting on my team. Crap, man. I'm just being real. You talking about out of all the 10 guys we've talked about so far,
that's the one you don't like.
20 players. Yeah, I'm just saying of the 20 players we've broke down, he's definitely the one I'm gonna avoid the most. I just don't really buy into him being a producer in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? I could see a pat for any of these guys, but these Isaiah Bond guys, I feel like they come along every year. Like, I mean, they have a role on your fantasy team. You know what I'm saying? Where you could put them in a week, and hopefully they catch a 50-yard bomb. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously those guys exist on your team, so
I feel the same
I just
way.
don't really care for them.
That's the way I kind of look at it when I'm watching the tape and stuff. It's like they all look great when they're playing in college, but I try to compare them to what are they really gonna do? Is this guy any different? Is he showing me anything different than anybody else in the league? Of players like his size and just the way he plays. I felt like you said, Mecole Hardman, type player. Mecole Hardman ain't done shit. Packers just got him though.
What? I'm about to say wide receiver 1. Went out there and got that guy.
Splash move, baby. we needed that receiver. Got Mecole.
Well, shoot, crap, man. This right here, probably the biggest name of the guys we're talking about right here, and that's Jayden Higgins. And because there's a lot of hype on Jayden Higgins, a lot of debate. Hey, I guess I should go ahead and click his little name. Iowa State, 6'4", 214 pounds. I've seen some people rank him as high as 1. I've seen him 2. I've seen him up there. I've seen him I've seen why draft Tet when you can get Jayden Higgins and the yada, yada, yada. You know what I'm saying, Kraft Man? I've seen a lot of that kind of stuff. I'll be honest. He's gotten a lot of buzz, but I'll be honest, I'm kind of with it. I think he's pretty good. I'm not going to say number 1.
Nah.
But he's definitely up there in that. I mean, hell, man. Runs full route tree. He's got good hands, contested catch ability. To me, I didn't look at any comps for this guy, but what about Nico Collins? What you say, Crab Man? I bet that's one that's being said all the time out there.
Nico,
You don't think so?
nah, I don't think so. I mean, I don't have an exact comp for him right now, but I mean, I do. I liked him a lot. I mean, he's like 6'4", 214. He can get down the field pretty quick in a hurry. He ran like a 4.47 40. So I mean, nothing incredible, but what lacks with him is just the vertical route. I feel like he doesn't create a lot of separation on his vertical routes, especially during when he's getting pressed. But he's got a good release off the line, and he's got quick feet for a taller, bigger guy who can. I feel like he eats on slants and like in the middle of the field, and he's good against zone. This is probably the best one we talked about in this episode. Either him or Royals for me in this one, and the other guys, I'm kind of like, I mean, if I have to draft him, I will, but I'll be targeting Higgins or Royals in the second, third round of our rookie drafts for sure.
I mean, I think Higgins. I mean, I might would say he's up there with like Luther Burden and stuff like that, because I have my questions with Luther Burden. I feel like I have less questions with Jayden Higgins. Like, I would take Jayden Higgins over Egbuka.
You know who he actually kind of reminded me of watching him was a little bit more like, this is a bigger, taller receiver, but not a big vertical threat. Is like Keenan Allen is more like what I saw out of him. It's like, I mean, Nico's more of this man beater. He runs that deep dig that's impossible to stop. It seems like C.J. Stroud kills him every time. I don't feel like that's like his main part of his route tree. He's more of a target guy in the middle of the field and can stretch the field a little bit from the outside. But he's a boundary type receiver. But I feel like he can be moved around in the NFL if they need to move him into slot, make him a big slot guy.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like you said earlier. Of all the guys we talked about today, this one was the best one because I would rank him up there in that top tier, or maybe not top tier, but I would rank him up there closer with the top guys than I would some of these bottom guys. I mean, I even said today there's a guy on here I wouldn't even touch. But that's just not how I feel about
I mean, you watch him.
I would.
You watch him and Ayomanor Elic.
Yeah.
It's like watching a totally different thing. I mean, it's not even close to me when you watch them two guys play.
Yeah.
But I know you love your boy from Stanford though. That's gonna be your guy.
Hey, I mean, I just ain't gonna hate on him. But I just think it's funny he has that one game.
He's gonna be a freaking beast. Make me look stupid. The one guy that out of all of them that I talk massive shit on, he's gonna be the best one.
Well, shoot, basically, I would just say, like, with all these guys, the class, like, I know they're saying this is a weak class, and this is a weak class compared to some of them. But I thought all these guys were pretty good. Like, I don't even know how many more wide receivers we'll have to even go over. Like, Travis Hunter, and then there's probably a couple more. I feel like there's probably more on the running back side, but I definitely think there's some value here with these wide receiver guys. With a couple of them, especially when I'm looking at like rookie mocks and seeing where some of these guys are slotted at. But I don't know, man. I know we're gonna talk some strategy, but some of these rookie picks, I just look at them and I'm just like, I don't know. We do this shit every year.
Yeah. It's kind of like pick your poison at receiver this year. There's gonna be some good ones that come out of this class, and I mean, I enjoyed watching them. There was a lot. I mean, there was definitely some that I liked a lot more than others. It just seemed like there was a tier this year of guys that I like and guys that I don't, and there's kind of no middle ground for me.
Like in this rookie draft, there'll definitely be a time where you can get a wide receiver for cheaper this year. You know what I'm saying? Like,
there's gonna be a good one too.
I mean,
out of these guys, out of the guys we talked about today. I think there's going to be a very good wide receiver for your fantasy team out of these guys. But I really think when it comes down to stuff like this, it's really you watch them, you pick them, you call your shot on them. Like, you can listen to however many people you want to about it, but it's just like, do you like them or do you not? Because in the second and third round of your rookie drafts, I mean, the hit rate's so low anyway. So might as well just throw a pick out there and get the guy you want.
Right. I agree. Well, shoot, crap, man. That was wide receiver episode 2, breakdown part 2. So we've done 10 running backs. We've done 10 wide receivers. We'll probably do quarterbacks next. Slide that into one episode, and then we'll see about tight ends. Might slide that into one episode. I don't know. We're going to see. Me and Crabman will come up with a game plan, but hey, when's the draft, Crabman? April what?
20-something.
I don't either.
It's like April 20-something. I know our rookie draft is one day after that, but it's like the third Saturday or third Thursday in April. It's like the 20th or the 23rd or something like that.
Alright, so basically we're looking at me and Craftman. We'll probably get this one swipe through, and then we'll probably start seeing some rookie mocks and some rookie rankings, but you'll probably see some breakdowns mixed in there too. So we'll probably get this one sweep through. We'll break down some other guys too, but we'll probably get some rankings out there for you and let you know where we stand on some of these guys. I know me and Crabman really been kind of commenting where we kind of like them, so we kind of have an idea where we stand with some of these guys anyways, but we'll put it pen to paper and let everybody see them and stuff like that. So, Crabman, anything you want to say to the people out there that's listening to this content? Listen, thanks for checking us out. Leave us a comment. We're on there. We're trying to get back to you as fast as we can. And check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, YouTube podcasts, whatever. Just whatever. And check us on it. And, we don't ask much. Just ask that you share the show. Share the show, man. Just share the show. So, Crap, man, anything you want to say to the people out there?
Yeah, I was just going to say we're trying to get involved with anybody we can. If you want to leave a comment on our YouTube, we'll definitely respond and have a good little banter back and forth, if you disagree or agree with anything we say. And we're going to get some best balls going too, try to get everything set up on social media to, play some best balls with anybody out there who wants to play and get some of that interaction going on. Cause we just love playing fantasy. We love best ball. We love drafting. Like that's the best part of it. So, if you want to hop on with us, get in a couple best ball leagues, we're definitely going to be getting that going.
Yeah. I mean, Crabman's preaching the truth. I mean, we definitely going, we like best ball. A lot of people play best ball and underdog, and we're going to do it too, but come join us because we're going to play a little bit of best ball too. And
on Sleeper.
We're going to do it a lot. On Sleeper. We're going to do it on Sleeper. We're going to do it our way. But yeah, come join us. Dynasty startup on the way. Get one of those. Might even try to get a redraft league together for everybody out there. So, but yeah, not much more for me to say. Crapman, anything else?
I appreciate everybody for listening. If you liked it, hit that thumbs up on the YouTube.
All right, man, that sounds good. So we out.
Peace.